Welcome to today's class, your English Studies class. I am Mr. Oladile. Today, the topic we'll be considering is Concord, the rules of grammar 2. Concord, the rules of grammar 2. About 2 weeks ago, we considered Concord, the rules of grammar 1. So today, we'll be considering Concord, the rules of grammar 2, where we're going to study some rules guiding sentence construction. And for that reason, our Bible reference is taken from the book of Psalm, chapter 48, verse 3. God is known in our places for a refuge. The subject God is singular and thereby attracts the singular verb is. That is the rule of grammar. Our instructional objectives are, by the end of the lesson, students should be able to 1. Explain the concept concord. 2. Identify different types of concord. 3. Describe the use of each type of concord. 4. Use each type of concord appropriately. Good. By way of introduction, although people often refer to concord as the kind of agreement that exists between a subject and its verb, the air has been cleared on this that the agreement goes beyond the subject-verb relationship. The relationship could be between the antecedent and its anaphor, or complement, or pronoun and its anaphor. Therefore, we shall be considering the second part of the rules of grammar under these headings: proximity concord, notional concord, and pronoun antecedent concord. Let's proceed. Proximity concord. The word proximity means nearness. So, proximity concord entails that a verb agrees in number with the noun that is closest to it. Such an agreement employs the use of the following correlative conjunctions: neither nor, either or, and not only but also. Examples of these proximity concords are copious in the next slide. Proximity concord. When two subjects are linked by correlative conjunctions neither nor, either or, and not only but also, the verb is determined by the closest subject to that verb, that is, the second subject in such a sentence. Let's check these examples. Either John or his parents are to attend a party. The second subject here is his parents, and it is plural. Therefore, it attracts the plural verb are. Example 2 says, neither the players nor the coach deserves praise for the result of the match. The coach happens to be a singular subject. Then it attracts the singular verb deserves. Example 3 says, the boy or the girls are good for the job. So the girls happens to be the second subject, and because it is plural, it attracts the plural verb are. The next example says, the boys or I am good for the job. So the pronoun I, though sometimes behaves as if it's plural, but it's singular. So it usually takes a singular verb or a plural verb, depending on the usage. But I am. The verb am is singular. The last example says, not only the girls, but also the boy is expected. The second subject says the boy, and it attracts the singular verb is. Proximity concord. The next type of concord is concord with subordinators or connectors. When two subjects coordinated by a subordinator or connective, such as together with, as well as, with, like or unlike, in addition to, etc., the verb agrees with the first subject. Surprise, surprise. Under proximity, we say the verb agrees with the second subject. Whereas under concord with subordinators and connectors, the verb agrees with the first subject. Let's check the examples. The principal as well as the vice principal needs advice. The verb needs agrees with the subject, the first subject, which happens to be the principal. So let's check the second example. The teacher with 6 students was arrested. The first subject here is the teacher. Then it's in agreement with the verb was because it is singular. The third example says the tape recorder, in addition to the video machines, was stolen. Look at it. The tape recorder is one, singular, and it attracts the singular verb was. Finally, my parents, together with our firstborn, are coming today. My parents, there are two, and the subject, my parents, is plural. Then it attracts the plural verb are. The next one, which happens to be another examples of concord, is notional concord or type of concord, notional concord. Notional concord is the agreement that is based on the idea of number the speaker has in mind, rather than on the actual presence of the grammatical or form marker of such an idea. So it's not about whether we have 2 or 3 or plenty people, but it has to do with the idea that has been conceived in the mind of the speaker. So we have to flow with the speaker. Let's check. Notional concord is also known as semantic agreement. That is meaning agreement. It has to do with collective nouns. Some of these collective nouns are audience, crowd, mob, club, congregation, police, committee, and common nouns with collections such as a bench of, a herd of, a gang of, a crew of, a bevy of, and so on and so forth. The rules of notional concord go thus. Notional concord. A collective noun attracts a plural verb if the thought is about the individuals that make up the group. For example, the team have decided to play the next match. The team, it is the individuals that are in that team that have decided to play the next match. The angry mob are chasing the robbers. It is the individuals that are in that mob that are carrying out the action of chasing the robbers. Another rule there is a collective noun attracts a singular verb if it is seen as an entity, e.g., the team has another chance. It is that entity that has been given another chance. The team has another chance. The crowd is uncontrollable. It is the aggregate or the congregation or the crowd of people, not the individuals that we are referring to here, that is uncontrollable. The committee becomes useless after the election. It is not the individuals that constitute the committee that become useless, but it is the portfolio or the responsibility or the committee that becomes useless after the election. Still on notional concord. A collective noun takes a singular verb when it is not performing any action. Examples are the crowd is large. The entity formed by groups of people of different status, it's what is large. So the crowd is large. The audience is friendly. You might have been having speeches, then you go to this place. When you get there, you come in contact with friendly faces, but not as individuals, but as a group of audience. And that audience is friendly compared to what you have been having before. So the audience here is a single entity or singular entity, and it attracts the verb, the singular verb is. So the audience is friendly. Another rule says Collective noun subject with a singular collection takes a singular verb, while the one with a plural collection takes a plural verb. What do we mean by a singular collection? When you say a bench of, the collection there is bench and it's not two benches. So that is a singular collection with the help of the use of the preposition of. So a bench of magistrates meets here tomorrow, meaning that a bench, not two. We are referring to one bench here, and it attracts the singular verb meets, singular collection. A gang of robbers was caught here yesterday. Two benches of magistrates. Surprise, surprise. Can you see this third example? It's telling us two benches. So, plural collection. Two benches of magistrates meet here every day. Plural collection. Some gangs of robbers were caught here yesterday. Good. Another example or type of concord is what we refer to as pronoun antecedent concord. The pronoun antecedent agreement states that a pronoun should always agree in person, number, and gender with its antecedents. Person, whether singular or plural, number, whether many or few or one. Or we can say person, whether male or female, and number, singular or plural, and gender, male or female too, with its antecedents. So the noun that the pronoun refers to in a sentence or paragraph is called an antecedent. Hence, a singular antecedent noun takes a singular pronoun, while a plural antecedent takes a plural pronoun. Examples are Mary hurts herself. Mary, one person. In terms of number, one. In gender, she's a female. Then Mary agrees with the choosing of the pronoun herself. We can't say Mary hurts himself. That is, we are violating the rules of Concord or grammar. Example 2 says John hurts himself, or James hurts himself. James is a boy or man, then himself goes with it. They hurt themselves. They, in terms of person and number, is plural. So it attracts a plural pronoun, themselves, or plural anaphor, themselves. The fourth example says, the man thinks he can do it all. The man, a singular noun or antecedent, attracts a singular pronoun, he, and it agrees in both gender and number. The fifth example, they congratulated each other. They, a singular pronoun, is in agreement with another pronoun, each other. So we should have it in mind here that they are two people. It's just referring to two people. So we use each other. When we now get to the last example, the pronoun they in the sentence they congratulated one another is referring to more than two people. So they and one another is about more than two people. So we use one another for more than two people and each other for two people. Still under pronoun antecedent concord. When the indefinite pronoun one is used as the subject in a sentence, its antecedent remains the indefinite pronoun one. What we are saying here is that you may say, one has to do one's job on time. So you don't need to say one has to do his job. What if the person that one is referring to is not a man? Then we will be violating the rules of grammar. One, let's look at the examples. One has to read one's book on daily basis. One has to face one's studies squarely. And finally, one does not know if one has the sun. Okay. In conclusion, From our previous set of rules, we concluded that concord is an agreement between the number person of a subject and the verb that such a subject takes. Here again, we have explained further that some rules could be applied based on their proximity between the noun and its subjects, and that there is a strong agreement between an antecedent and its pronoun. So let's have this in mind whenever we are expressing ourselves or we're writing. It's very important that we observe every rule of concord or every rule of grammar. Good. In the next slide is our evaluation questions, and after that, we move to the last slide where the instruction about the evaluation questions is going to be looked at. So let's ensure we watch to the end. Okay, our evaluation questions. And the instruction says choose the correct verb from the options in the brackets to fill in the gap in each sentence. So here are 10 questions. Make sure you select appropriately and meticulously so that you can get everything and so that you can master the rules of Concord. Now, you are to watch this very well. I believe you have watched to the end. Attend the evaluation question and submit it to michaeloladile84 at gmail.com on or before 18th August 2020. Goodbye. Good job to you all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.